All right, we're going to get started here for a second. Oh, I have the wrong camera and everything. Like I'm facing the wrong direction. It's just so sad when I don't have things set up and then I look all gray because the camera's wrong. Hi, there we go. That's a better. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Hope audio's okay, and we should be up and running in a second. I'm trying to get our first guest of the day will be Dean Obeidallah, and he's we're having a tech issue getting him in, but we'll be up in just a moment. I believe in the fates. I believe that the internet, the interwebs will be for us. In the meantime, let me say hi to the chat room. Hello, chat room. Good to see you. Welcome. Audio's good. Excellent. Okay, it's always a trick when you're in this environment. I'm in a little rental, but I thought this morning that the place that I was staying in had a mouse. It does not have a mouse. It has squirrels. So what I saw was a baby squirrel running through the place. It's a little Airbnb I'm in. I mean, almost appropriate. Like it was funny. I was like, I see skitter. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to go with mouse, but I don't get mouse. What does it say? Just said waiting for host. Okay. Well, why does it say I'm online? Let me reopen this. It said I was offline for some reason. Why is this? It says I'm offline. I'm online, right? Yes? You can see me? Yeah. Okay. You're hearing the squirrel story. On my interview thing, it says I'm offline for some reason. That's odd. Not quite sure how to remedy that because I am online. Very peculiar. Do I have to stop and restart again? It says I'm online. That's the weirdest thing I have ever seen. Apologies to Dean, who's trying to figure this out. But literally at the top of my interview thing to bring guests in, it says, now it says I'm online. Now it woke up. I had to shut it down and restart it. So Dean should try again. Okay, sorry. Try again now. Super odd. I'm keeping my eye on it. Should be working. We don't know. It's very exciting. Back and forth with this. I love technology. I really do. So much so that I had to go to Best Buy this morning before the show. Yeah, I was like, that's very strange. I had to go to Best Buy before the show this morning because the Wi-Fi here is so bad. I had to buy a 16-foot Ethernet cable to run it from the base in here. Aha! There he is. There he is. Guest is in the green room. There he is. I don't see his camera yet, but he seems to be tucking in. Let's see. Now's the weird part where I go to the channel he's in, and then I've got to put him in that. So give me 1 second. Go to preview mode, and then so we can do it under the cover of night. There he is. Look at that. I see him now, and it's very exciting. Hold on. I'll pop him in, and we'll bring him in just a minute. Thanks for hanging with us, Dean Obeidallah. Can you hear me, sir? That's what I need to know. And let's see. There we go. Hold on. Yes, I will put you in here. 1 second. And we'll see if it works. Publish this. Bring him there. I see him. There he is. Look at that. Ladies and gentlemen, Dean Obeidallah. It might take a moment. It might be a delay that happens. We might have a very... do you hear me? Can you hear me now? Do you hear me now? I don't think he can. I don't want him to hang out. I see him. But hold on, back to me. We'll go back here. I see you, Dean. Let's see. I hear his audio now. Very curious. Let's see. I'm going to check one more thing. That's Andrea going, he sees you and hears you. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me go to the interview thing and make sure that they hear this. Again, the guest sees the broadcast. Custom interview settings. Nope. Default show viewer comments. Turn off audio when processing for guest musician. Nope. Okay, seems fine. Oh, wow, now I really hear him loud. He's clicking through. It's him hearing me that's the problem. Clearly. I hear you. I hear him. It's just a matter of if he can hear me. Good times. Let's see. I see and hear you. Do you hear me? Dino, can you hear me? Dino, can you hear me singing? I'm guessing that's, he is trying, he can't hear you. Okay, well, I'm sending audio his way, so it might be on his end. I'm not criticizing his end, but it might be his audio out of that browser, because I absolutely am sending him audio and absolutely can see him. And the nice thing is every time Andreas sends Dean a message, an angel gets its wings. I don't think, yeah, you guys can hear yes, you can hear the interview guests when I'm in this scene, as I can. Let's see. And he can't see the chat. Does he see the chat? Okay. Hi, Dean. Hello. I see him in there. Send guest to the green room. Let's see. I'm going to put him, let's see. Let's try this real quick. I'm going to add him left. Does that work? In here? No. Oh, because it puts him behind me. That's why. Duh. Dean, can you hear me? Can you hear me? He can't. Yes, I know he can't hear me. I understand that, but I can't remedy that on my end because I am sending him audio. He is getting audio. There is audio coming his way. I just don't know how he gets it. Might be a thing on his laptop. It might be a thing on his headphones, but we can definitely hear him. I hear him for real. You guys hear that? You hear that noise, guys? Just so I'm not crazy. Computer. Right? He's there. Let's see. Dean, I hear you. Okay. He can't see the chat on my end. I'm chatting to him, but I don't think he sees. Tell him to reconnect, maybe? That was it? Maybe, but I see him for sure. See, I'll show you. Like, there you are. Hi. Hi, Dean. There you go. Hello. Hi. Hello. Can you see me now? So I feel like Chris Matthews at the height of his career. Remember Chris Matthews' biggest problem was that there was always a delay and he never understood it. So he would always interrupt people just as they were there. It's not the unmute. We can definitely hear his audio. It's on my end? Okay. Yeah. I can put my earbuds in. Okay, yes. Do you hear me now? Check, check 1, check 2. As soon as he hears me, we'll get good. The other thing is that he can jump out and jump back in. In the interim, a couple of things. I will do this while we're getting that hashed out, but we can definitely see and hear Dean. He just can't hear me for some reason. We'll work that out. But in the interim, while we're working on that end of things, which I'm sure we can do, I have faith that this will happen. The biggest part of this, I guess the big breaking story, I literally just did a Zoom chat and all my work time. Okay. It might be because it's looped through there. Is his Zoom turned off? Because that might be it. Because sometimes it'll try to route through. Yeah. That happens. Oh, now I lost audio from him. And let's see. Check, check. Hold on. I'm going to, maybe if I kick him out, he can rejoin. Andre, I'm gonna kick him out from my end, see if he can rejoin and see if that remedies it. It might just be a brain fart on the interwebs. The other thing is that I can set up a Zoom and then just grab the window if that's how it has to be. But it'll take me a minute to squirrel that together, which I'm totally capable of doing. Yeah. It's so funny because I think image is okay with you guys. Like, all that's good. I love this part of live streams, by the way. This is my favorite part of live streams, is when the host is going, can you hear me? Can you hear me? And then there's that delay from Lay's Real Talk, basically. The first 2 minutes is, let's see, guest is in the green room. There he is. Excellent. He hears me, apparently, and everything. Oh, I'm so excited. But I'm not even close. Hold on. I gotta put him in here, and then I think it's gonna happen. Oh, it's very exciting. And then the funny thing is like, what'll happen? Yeah, wait, you hear me? You hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Look at
You hear
that.
me?
See, I was okay. So I'm totally, yes, everything's great. I am totally fine with everything being my fault, but only about 80% of it was. The other 20% I couldn't remedy from my end.
I don't know. It's working. I changed browsers, and that's why it's working. Chrome was shadow banning me
No,
because I'm
that's what it is.
Palestinian,
That's
or
I
because
think
of
that's
you. I'm
probably
not.
what it is. It's a Bezos thing or something, right? Yeah, it's a. But no, wait. Everybody, hold on. Everybody who runs
Safari.
Google. Wait, sorry. Everyone who runs Google is brown, so I don't know how that's supposed to work. Like it's. I think
Well,
it's.
not the big bosses. That's how it
It's the.
works.
I'll
I'm
tell you what it
actually
is. It's the It's the Indians against the Pakistanis, who, on behalf of the Palestinians, are now attacking Afghanistan. I don't know if you saw that, but there's a whole new war that Trump gets to put down before Pakistan has basically invaded parts of Afghanistan, and they are bombing Kabul, and that's just like everything is so nuts in the world that that's like off the radar. But good morning,
Well,
Dean
he'll
Ovidala.
take
Good to
credit
see you.
for it. Good
Oh
morning. Nice
yeah,
to see you.
yeah.
Nice to see you, my friend. So, is this a new show? Did I miss? No, you've been doing your show. I know forever. Is this a
Yeah.
new setup, or is just my computer's having a problem, or did we get
No,
a tech issue
I'm
today?
on the road, so I'm in an undisclosed location. And I'm in the witness relocation program.
Oh,
So this week, so I'm on the road,
you're cutting
and
in
this
and out.
is
I don't know if it's my connection or yours.
it's probably
I have
mine.
a
I'm
pretty
gonna
good
I'm gonna
connection.
blame mine just for the heck of it. But whatever it is, it's my fault. Just to lay it off on the edge. You're doing nothing wrong, Dean. You're doing great.
Hello, hello.
You're there. You're there.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you're there. You're good. You're all right. You're cool. Maybe it is his side. No, I doubt it. It's probably my end. Chat room, you guys see me okay though? You guys see me all right? No, we can't. You can't see me. Tingling legs. Dean is visible but silent. Love Dean. There we go. I ditched out. Is that what happened? Hold on. Did I go offline again? Is that what happened? Crapola. It says I'm live though. I don't know how to it's the strangest thing. Okay. Let me remedy it for 1 second. He froze on me, so that's fun. You can't go wrong. Okay. You see us good. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, I'll switch back over to him, and he's frozen. So maybe it is on that end. Maybe it's just two things at once. Oh, I know what it could be. Hold on. I think I know what it could be. Wait. I think I know what it could be. Wait 1 second. Open up, you silly thing. Nope. Okay. Thought the battery wasn't charging. That happens sometimes when my laptop gets a little wonky. There he is. He's back. Hold on. He's in. There he is. Hey, you're back. Yeah.
I'm
Excellent.
here.
Yeah.
It froze. You froze. You're making amazing points as always. And then because you
I
mentioned
think we're.
Google and you mentioned the
That's what
bosses,
it
and
was. That's what it was. I dared question, the content of their character and the character of their content. So let's jump right in before the gremlins get to us again. Your thoughts on the current state of Israeli-Palestinian peace in air quotes, and how in the world you think this will go, or your take on the sales pitch and all that's been going on.
look, today's a hopeful day. I mean, that's one thing. You've got the war ending in Gaza and the hostages freed. Where it goes from here, no one knows. I mean, they're negotiating right now in Egypt. That's happening right now as we speak. And the hope is that, we'd love to see a real peace deal where people on both sides can live their lives with freedom and have self-determination and some level of equality. Yeah, that would be great. I don't know where it's going to go because how we've been through this so many times. Like
Yeah.
every 2014, 2012, even you go through my childhood. I mean, to now.
Yeah.
So I don't know when it's going to change for the better. I don't. Right now, Trump is like president of Israel. I mean, he could stay there for all we had our joy. I'd like him
Yeah,
to
yeah.
remain there.
There's a
But
strong chance he might. Speaking of how often he uses the word eternal,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
definitely concerned with the afterlife a lot right now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he just mentioned heaven again the other day. And I had Dr. John Gardner on from Duty to Warn, who's a psychologist, and
Yeah,
he flagged that for me a week ago, and I had not been noticing that. And it's interesting you brought that up too. Dr. Gardner said it's just part of life. As people get older to the point where they start thinking about their next incarnation, which
Yeah.
is the next iteration, is not on this earth. And he's beginning to get fixated on that. And it's kind of interesting. And I wonder if there's some health issues we don't know about with him beyond that,
You
that they're not telling
wonder?
us.
Wait, you wonder? There. Okay, come on. All right, first of all,
Okay.
of course there are. He's on aspirin
Right.
regimen, and he's allegedly never had a heart attack or a stroke. The only time that's advised for someone in his age range, because they used to do aspirin therapy, to protect people, against cardiac problems, and it was like, nope, that's actually the wrong thing to do. Don't do that anymore. The only time they do it now is when you've already had an ischemic stroke or a heart attack. And he's allegedly had neither, but he's on the aspirin regimen. Like, it's ill-advised. You do not do it. And so,
That's
of course, he has. Right.
Right. And, there was a time it was 9/11, I think, the ceremony just last month, where his face was drooping in a
Yeah.
way that it's not normal. So he's recovered from that. We don't see any paralysis since then. But that was an odd thing there. And
He's overcompensating a lot. He's overcompensating a lot. He's doing a lot more mugging, and he's doing a lot more squinting. So he's keeping his cheeks up by doing this, and he does that face push forward, that kind of flagging. He does the Jerry Lewis smile that he does sometimes.
Flagging,
Flagging, like he does that.
And he
But
hides
it's to
his
keep
right
your
hand,
face
and
up.
he hides his
Yeah.
hand. And he hides this hand. People should watch. Every time he does a video from the desk, this hand is hidden. And I don't know what's on it. We assume it's bruising. Or maybe you get a tattoo of Hal Sparks or Stephanie
Yeah,
Miller.
that's right. Yeah. Well, you know what? Nobody would cover that. They exist out there in the wild, and no one would ever cover them. As a matter of fact, they're only on décolletages and easily viewable legs. But the reason he does it is to hide the fact that they put makeup on it so that when he's moving around, you don't stare at it. You don't see the purple, but it looks like shit. So he tries to cover it so they can't take a picture of it. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
Clearly.
And remember their cover story was he's just shaking hands so much. Like, no, you can take. There are millions of people taking aspirin regimen. Their hands don't get bruised, but it's a baby aspirin people take. Take it. It has no effect like that. You don't have. That's from high level blood thinners that you're taking because of probably a blockage or something like that. I know from family history. In my family, that's when it happened. I'll take Brilinta, or high powered.
And then I'm gonna watch his thing on the. Okay,
no, Hal's frozen. Maybe you can.
It's okay. No, I can, and it jags a little bit, and then it catches up. It's like it's like the bits get all backed up.
It's like I think it was frozen.
We're good. I know. Yeah, it's happening. Nope, we're all right. See, it comes back. I'll show you because he's fine. It's interesting. It's back his way. But here's what I will say to the people out there while the interwebs catch up to us, because it is catching up. Is that he's aware of the end, and that's what this has been about for quite some time. And when he's in Israel, right now, he wants his exit from this planet to be biblical, and so that's really, honestly, that's what he thinks is going to happen. He thinks there's either his key to eternal life. He's been talking about how Jesus isn't going to let him in. Maybe he's going to convert like Ivanka did, and he can get in as one of the chosen people, and they have to let him in. Is that his theory?
It's very interesting you say that he wants a biblical end, something involving locust and brimstone.
No, I think more of a rising up, or the seas part for him, and then he's like, you guys get to go to the promised land. He wants to be Moses, but I will not. Yeah. I will never see it, right? And so I give you this gift, which is, by the way, when an old man plants trees, he never plans to sit under the shade of. That's what he's doing, which is how I would define the Biden era. Biden's entire term was that. Also, to your point, and I was going to say this before we got all jaggedy, was Biden is probably the frailest president we've had since Roosevelt in terms of how people viewed him because of his back issues. He had a stiffening back issue. He fractured his ankle during the campaign, and so that's why he walked stiff. It's also why he slipped going up the stairs, is because the tendons have shortened on that, because it didn't heal right, because he was campaigning. So he didn't do all the rehab and stuff they would have done. He just got on with it. And so but he never had bruising on the back of his hand like that. Like he had it once, I think, and then it went away because they did a port on the back of his hand. It bruised and then it healed.
The other thing is that what the corporate media doesn't want to cover or challenge him on, the increasing. If you want to be nice and call them senior moments, you can do that. But
Oh,
for example, last week he was asked about would you suspend habeas corpus? He said, "Who's habeas?" And they're like,
right.
"Oh boy, that's good."
Yeah.
And then he goes to Christy, "No, what are we doing about the habeas?" And then a week ago, he was not being dismissive. He was asked about his meeting with Chuck Schumer and Akeem Jeffries. He could not remember who Akeem Jeffries was. Forget the
Yes.
name. He didn't know. He goes, and I don't really know him, but he's a really nice guy. The guy is a congressman from the state you used to live in, right here in New York City.
Yes.
Akeem Jeffries, you knew, and the media's let it go. And it wasn't like he was like, I don't know his name. He's like, Chuck was here and that guy, and he was trying to be nice. He goes, he's a really nice guy. You know him. But it reminded my mom when she had dementia, she couldn't remember the lady's name who came in, the caregiver. She would call her the lady. She goes, that lady's really nice. And I go,
Yeah.
yes, Mom. She's been here all the time. That's what it was very much. So you're having these moments that he's very lucid. So people shouldn't go like, well, he's lucid now. He's fine. It gets eclipsed more and more.
Well,
The
yeah.
lack of
So
functioning gets eclipsed by the.
I said a couple months ago, two things. One, if Xi Jinping lasts till November, it'll be a miracle. And he's allegedly had a stroke in the last week, but they're keeping it under
Oh,
wraps, and all this stuff is going
oh,
on.
I didn't know
But
that.
he won't be the leader next year for sure. If they parade him around on a gurney like Hannibal Lecter, maybe for it'll seem like it. But Zhang Youxia or Li Keqiang's going to take over in the near future if they haven't already in his place, and he's just figureheading around because this would be his third stroke, and this was they
Oh,
think it was a hemorrhagic stroke, which is also partly why Trump talking with these guys. Putin's got really bad health problems. Xi Jinping has really bad health problems. The only ones that are like vibrant are the Middle Eastern leaders like MBS. And you can see why Trump kind of clings to this idea. And maybe, the king of England, like he beat cancer. So now he's, maybe I can be like him. But either way, Trump, today, I said he would have a window of about 4 hours. There's going to be like this idea where the dementia is such that you start sundowning, then it becomes 8 hours a day,
right.
you're okay, then it becomes 6, then it becomes 4. And I was like, by the spring, it's 4 hours a day, max. Like they will jack him up. And I was like, by the spring. I think it's now. I think we're already there and he knows it. And I think the people around him know it. And that's partly why he has these little cheering sessions, these little Kim Jong-un circle jerks that he does that he calls cabinet meetings. It's like, you're doing great, Grandpa. It's like
Right.
that. So two things. One is did you see the Kai one-on-one thing his granddaughter did with him playing golf? Have you watched that? It's like an hour long. They
No,
played. She
no,
just
I didn't
released
watch it.
it.
No.
She just released it yesterday. You should check out part of it. Just the beginning,
Okay.
because
Sure.
he plays golf with his granddaughter, and I see what they're trying to do. It's like they're trying to humanize him and all this kind of stuff. And it looks like they're pre-eulogizing him in this video. Is what it looks like. It's not good. But he is huffing and puffing, and his face is dragging from hole one. And then at the
Wow.
Knesset today, he gets
You see his
interrupted by
face?
yes. So he
He's
gets
very puffy.
yeah, and he got interrupted today at his speech at the Knesset. And while they were going through it, you heard the interpreter saying in English what's being said about removing one member of the Knesset as they walked him out. And he's leaning towards the mic, and you can hear him breathing. And it's labored. He's mouth breathing all the time now, and it's super heavy. He's like,
That's
and
unnerving.
he said like 3 sentences. I'm not kidding.
I,
Like people need to listen to that moment.
right. Right. How I look at the cabinet meetings, there's the North Korean aspect, and I get that. There's the idea of let's give them a pep talk. To me, there's another part. It reminds me of the movies where people are sitting around their grandpa and they all want to be in the will. And they're like, you're the best grandpa.
Yeah.
No, you're the best grandpa. And it feels like, and the will in this case is power. Who's going to be the new heir apparent in MAGA world? So they're kissing up to Trump for the MAGA viewers who are
Yes.
watching. Because it's not like I think JD Vance is the leading candidate, of course, because he would be president. But there's going to be a competition for King MAGA.
Oh,
And
yeah.
by the way, in the Knesset today, my fiance's cousin is one of the two people that interrupted. Ayman Odeh. He's a member of the Knesset in Israel. Him and
Uh-huh.
his partner. They're not partners like a couple. They're partners in business. He's a Israeli Arab, and the other his coalition partner is Jewish Israeli, and they interrupted Trump today.
Why did they? What was the point they were trying to make about this, other than the fact that it's Trump? Oh, he froze. See, you bring that up, and then that's what happens. See, now the freeze is coming my way because the powers that be, the deep state, they're happening again. That's what's going on. He's frozen for a second. I'll see if he pops back in a second. I'll like reset him because I don't want him to be frozen on screen. I do that for my guests. You know, if their screen freezes, that's not right. You just don't leave somebody up on the screen like that. You might have to reconnect. But half the time I could be chatting and I don't even know if I'm on. I have a feeling that the rest of the shows I do here, I'm gonna. There he is. He's back. Okay, there we go. Yeah, he's back again. Yeah, you froze for a second, and I didn't hold the camera on you. I moved to a shot of myself so that you didn't have a frozen shot on screen for 2 minutes, right? Out of respect. Yeah, exactly, like that.
Yeah.
So
why? I making good I made so many good points out. I'm on my own talking to my camera, my phone, my computer.
Yeah.
I'm so sad.
Why did they? What was their specific point that they interrupted on? I'm fascinated.
They were just being disruptive. I mean, I just read very quickly because I didn't understand what they said, and they were ushered out quickly. But
yeah,
both Ayman and the guy who's the Jewish Israeli, who's like the coalition. It's called the Jewish Arab Coalition or something. The Jewish guy is much more abrasive. Ayman is challenging at times to people in Israel, but the Jewish guy has more privilege, and he's like just completely just so difficult.
Right.
So he was the one that really went out and started yelling stuff. And I don't know what he was saying. I honestly, I could ask my fiance to translate it, but it was just funny. They ended it really quickly, and then they yelled, and then the guards came over and they just stopped. They're like, okay, and they just walked out.
Yeah,
it was like they were not really. There was like a planned disruption. It wasn't like we're taking this place down. It's like,
I totally get that. I just I don't know what they would be. I mean, look, there's a lot that's in this deal that it's the exact same deal that Biden offered last year, except it's got softer protections for the Palestinians.
Frozen again.
Oh, but trust me, it's right. I can hold. You're right. See, it's back and forth. Now he's frozen. I think it's a New York thing myself. Are we back? We'll count on. We're good. It's coming. He's gonna pop out and pop back in, and I'll give my own screen then until he comes back because he's gonna recycle. I have a feeling that he's gonna. It worked so well to kick out and come back in that's now a habit. That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna have to do this when I'm home again as well. There he is. He's back. Yeah. So two things.
I freeze. We should sing a song like, if you want to build a snowman.
That's right. Yeah, right. Let it go. Let it go. Yeah. So and yeah, I can hit those notes. So there.
You can. Hey, how was the Ozzy thing? I know this is your show, but how was your Ozzy thing at the Whiskey A Go Go? I saw images of it. It looked so cool.
It was beautiful. If you look on my YouTube channel, I posted he froze for again. Yeah, I posted a couple of the songs, but I did Iron Man and Crazy Train, but we also did Mama, I'm Coming Home at the end, and it was I started crying while I was singing it, and the audience and I made the band stop on the last Mama. So that I could get the audience to do it together because everybody was singing along, and I was like, hold for a second for that because the music stops naturally in the song, but I was like, hold this for a second, and then we'll just come in when I come in with the audience, and that kind of thing. And it was beautiful and heartbreaking, and now that song makes me weep every time I hear it. It's always been a sweet song, but yeah, wow. It was a good time. Beautiful. And somebody just said your Getty scares cats. Well, get used to it because Rush is coming back out on the road, so that's going to happen again. Couple of points about the actual deal itself and what I was making. I don't know how much you heard of it, but this is the deal that Trump made is exactly the same as the deal Joe Biden made. The only difference is 10 months of bombing. That's it. Is that Israel continued to bomb for 10 more months? That either to destroy Hamas kill more people that were, Hamas related, so that they had to give up. Basically, we'll have the peace deal when the leadership of Hamas, all the senior leadership, most of the junior leadership, if not all, are dead. That's when we'll move forward. And that's basically what happened. Yeah, like Yahya Sinwar was killed last year, but his second was killed earlier this spring. And this is when, Biden, told Netanyahu to fuck off at one point. Trump apparently swore at him a couple of times this year. But the timeline seems to be set entirely by Netanyahu. That the peace deal itself has not changed. The only thing that's changed is, will Israel stop attacking? Do they feel like they've met their military objectives or not? That's it.
I had on Yehuda Cohen, his son Nimrod was just released today. I had him on my radio show in March. I know I'm freezing now. I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Nope, you're good.
Speaking anyway. So I had Yehuda Cohen on, who said he was very critical of Netanyahu. And he said Netanyahu was the reason there wasn't a deal earlier. This was March. He said we had a deal. And Netanyahu walked out of it because he wanted to stay in power. So I'm not sure if you're hearing this now, or I'm frozen.
I am. No, you're good.
What you're saying is absolutely right. Netanyahu made the timetable for this. This could have been very much the similar deal in earlier this year, much earlier.
Absolutely. Now you can. We heard that, so you're all good.
I kept talking, so could you?
Yeah,
hear
it was great. Yeah, it was good. Yes. Can you see my thumbs up? Yes. I'm going to do this until he comes back. Until he sees it. Yes, you were good. Great. So, which, by the way, I understand in the Middle East is an insult. That's not what I meant. I wasn't giving two middle fingers accidentally, right? Yeah, right. Yeah. So, you're right. You're from Paramus, right?
I'm from New Jersey. Yeah, it's like the British thing. So
you were born in the same town as the Holiday Inn where the woman who predicted the end of the world in Ghostbusters 2 went. So the woman who
really,
she met an alien.
I was actually born in Lodi. I was born in Lodi, New Jersey, which is about 5 miles away. Then we immigrated because Lodi, you were either Italian or my dad. That was the entire town. So I'm half Italian, half Palestinian. So that was the entire, and then we moved to Paramus, and Lodi was known as LODI. Like there's one in California, the Land of Dumb Italians. That's what they would call it. Like my dad's there. They're like, okay, Land of Dumb Italians and one Arab guy.
Right.
Yeah, not much better.
There's I don't want to I don't want to knife your tires too much about being a minority in that circumstance, but it's a functional minority, it's not a functional minority. It's just based on name check, because you would fit right in with every Italian there. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like Northern Egyptian. Maybe you're on the edge of Arabic, so culture, and looks. So that, but anybody north of that was basically a Mediterranean European for a long time.
Yeah.
That's thanks to the Byzantine Empire. But anyways, so this morning, Trump had to be, as soon as I guess Netanyahu got done speaking, they had two other speakers, and then Trump was going to speak at the end, and he didn't know or forgot or just blitzed it and got up and went to the podium and had to be walked back to his seat.
Oh.
Yeah. I want to change.
That? I didn't see that in the reporting.
Yeah,
oh my God.
I want to change scenes, but I'm like so worried that the screen will be all funky. Whatever. Let's see. Will this do it for us? Let's see if this jumps over. Nope, it won't. Hold on. I'm worried that it'll freeze the screen. But on the Daily Beast, they have a story, and you can probably see it right now. It says Trump 79 needs to be reminded when he's supposed to speak at his big address. And they literally they did the grandpa elbow. They did the
grandpa thought you're timing it?
Yeah.
And did you see his speech? He went off the speech, of course, that was prepared, and talked about Biden and Obama, and asked the president of Israel to give a pardon to Netanyahu for his criminal charges and all that kind of stuff. So it's typical. I mean, that's what he's going to do, right? Everything becomes the same speech except for what's in the teleprompter. He just wants to know about the same things, just like grandpas. That's what they do.
Well, he's got that Roy Cohn, always be hammering the lie. And my argument has been, on our side of the aisle, that we need to equally hammer the truth, and we don't. A lot of times what we do is we hammer his lie back, and it almost reinforces it with his own people. And I've been saying for quite some time that had we been as vociferous in our praise of the programs that are being cut as we are angry and in the streets when they are cut, or, when we get a law on the books or something like the ACA, if we were as proud of that as we are angry when he starts cutting it, we wouldn't be in this mess in the first place. That we would have been promoting all the good this whole time. And we would be, there wouldn't be this like, well, what's your message? You can't just run against Trump. And it's like Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, ACA, Infrastructure Act, the CHIPS and Science Act. Like Democrats are always doing things, but because we view the function of government as normal, as that's the job, right. We don't beat our chest about it. And I think it's about time, if you can learn anything from the Trump era and maybe the Instagram era.
I don't know if you can hear me, but
yes,
I agree with you. And one of the biggest crimes, in a way, was not promoting ACA when Obama first passed it. Democrats ran away from it, and they got crushed in the midterm.
Yep.
So we don't have a good habit of that. Even Biden tried to go out there and talk about the infrastructure bill, and Republicans were taking credit for it, even though they voted against it.
Right.
I'm not sure if you can hear me or not.
I can. You're good. Yes, I could. I heard you just fine. One of the, that's going to have to be what Democrats do from now on. Is like we have to be proud of what we've made, and shove governing down the throats of Republicans, because there are a lot of Republicans, are starting to sound like even the Josh Hawleys of the world. Oh, he's going to pop back out and pop back in. Is that what he's going to do? I'll hold that thought until he gets back in. But yeah, there he goes. He'll come back in. Give me 1 second. He knows to do it on his own right now. By the way, hit the like, share the show, etc., etc. 1, 2, 3, and bing. It usually takes a couple seconds. He's in there. He's in that spot. There he goes. And it's slowly but surely coming back in. It's slowly but surely making its way. Oh no! Back. Oh, that one try. Nope. All right. We'll bring him back in a second. But and Democrats, it's interesting how few people who have criticisms of the Democratic Party don't include in that why aren't we like prouder and like bragging about the accomplishments we've had. 3, 2, and it's gonna. Guess has muted themselves. There he is. Hey, came back in. Ta-da!
Hey, I'm back. We have these little moments we can talk, and then it freezes.
Yeah, it's good. It's this is. We'll look back on these technological days fondly, like when we had to do trunk calls.
What's going on? Why does it keep freezing? Damn it!
Right? Yeah. Oh, it did it again. Oh, I was so close. Yeah, there he goes. He popped. That was quick. There you go. Just reset it. I think it's interference. I think they're making sure, people can't speak sensibly about what's going on over there right now or criticize the president because they, this is a propaganda people. Like they're going, okay, make everybody put a mark on anybody's show is going to go up where we're like, we don't want them talking about what's going on. Oh yeah, I thought he heard me. He wasn't hearing me. He was just making a nice face. So very sad. But you guys did, and that's the important thing, I think. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hi, there he is.
Hey. I'm back. And that just threw me out of the whole place. Like it said stream destroyed. That was the box. I never saw that word before.
Okay, this is Gremlins. Then I'm going to go with my theory is that like Pam Bondi's DOJ is like shutting down shows that might be critical of what Trump is saying or pointing out the fact that he had to be grandpa walked across the podium at the Knesset. Like they're like, shut anybody down that does that. Just mess their show up.
Antifa.
That's right.
You're Antifa. We're all Antifa.
That's right.
That's what's happening, folks. Anyone who's Antifa, who's not in favor of fascism, they're coming for you. You got to be pro. This is the world we live in. You have to be pro-fascist. You're actually saying it. Like, you're anti-fascist. We're coming for you. Like, wow.
Yeah. Well, so I have I've had a chip on my shoulder for a long time about this kind of idea of organizations versus the message. For example, the right used BLM, Black Lives Matter, the organization, which was rife with corruption and all that kind of stuff. The women who ran it were, patting their pockets and blah, 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 with the hashtag and the message, which is obviously true. right? And most people who put that in their bios and stuff, we're not talking about the organization Black Lives Matter, but the fact that they do, right? There is an element of that going on with Antifa, with anti-fascism, and that Antifa is a pocket of organizations and the kids who call themselves Black Bloc, who are basically anarchists. They don't vote Democratic. They don't vote at all, quite frankly, and most of them are accelerationists. They believe that whoever's in charge that brings the system to a crash is the best case. That's who the Antifa, the guys with the flags and who wear Black Bloc, are not, technically speaking, anti-fascist. They actually want a version of like communist-based or Marxist-based fascism and all that kind of stuff. But that isn't the 95% of people who are protesting against Trump's fascism. But that's what they want to do. They want to take the group, the organized group, or the loosely knit group, in the same way that like the guy at Ruby Ridge thought his place was being charged like it was a Michigan militia, when in reality he was just selling illegal guns. He was selling like sawed-off shotguns, and that's what he got busted for. I could tell when the mic goes silent that he can't hear me anymore. That's what that was. Okay, I'm going to try and do something else. I'm going to cut this. I'm going to drop this real quick. And if I can shut down my quit Safari on there, I'm going to just try to limit the amount of web pages I have open, just in case. First quit, yes, go away. Okay, so maybe if I'm just using as little like software as possible. There we go. All right, hold on. Here he's back again. I just shut down a bunch of software just in case it's like my throughput. I'm just like whatever I can.
Really?
I'm just trying to do whatever.
It seems like an internet connectivity issue, but you do this all the time. So maybe they are gremlins. Maybe you're right that there's something else going on in terms of someone
flipping the internet
it's good
switch.
To see you at any event.
Yeah, that's right. So my point, but the point I was trying to make is that there's a difference between the activity and the belief system and the label or the people who co-opt that label. And in the case of like the people that are wearing their like the actual Antifa flag that people carry, or the Black Bloc kids and stuff like that, none of these people are Democrats who would want something like a public option. They want a crashed system. They are, and what they do is they take over in the same way that, like, you could argue all the people who showed up to see Trump's last speech, there was like 112,000 people there. 3,000 of them charged the Capitol. About 3,000 to 5,000 of them charged the Capitol. The rest of those people probably looked on with a little bit of glee because they didn't like, like Nancy Pelosi, or they didn't, whatever. But they didn't want the government overthrown. They were just miffed, middle-aged, upper-class rednecks who went there to show their disdain for Democrats, and then they turned around and went home. They got on trains. They split.
Right.
And then, but the Jan 6, the day, which includes a lot of people, 125,000 people or so, is defined by the 3,000 to 5,000 that charged the Capitol. Those are Jan 6ers. Well, a lot of the people who were in that crowd who went home consider themselves Jan 6ers because they're like, I was there on the day. I could have been arrested by the deep state and tortured. But like, they have this attitude that it wasn't the behavior difference that mattered. It was that I was there on January 6th, and I could have been killed just like Ashley Babbitt. Like, asshole, no, you didn't. You didn't crawl through a fucking window. You didn't have a knife in your bag. You didn't, get out of here. It's just silly. So that thought, what they do is they want those kind of provocateurs. They want those people to label everybody else. He froze again right at that thought, and I was going to get his answer. Son of a bitch. I'm gonna just FaceTime people for the rest of the show this week, just or Zoom it or something, because apparently that's what the lockup is. Or everybody's talking right now. That could also be the fact that like the internet is full. That could be the thing. We're almost done too. It's like if we could just squeeze out like 7 more minutes, that would be cool. and we'll do it. We're gonna and CSL. I apologize for us having to solder this show together. We're gonna have to solder this show together later on. You know, like just like, but it'll be great.
It's like AI of me. You could just have my voice. You should have AI Dean come up whenever I drop, and AI Dean probably makes better points and can speak, be funny, whatever you want. You turn up the settings. Funnier Dean.
Try.
You're gonna AI me.
That's right. So see, it keeps freezing. So while I have you though, and I'm going to keep you talking. Don't move. Stay there. You're all right. It's okay. Hello. You're going to be all right. Hello. Hello. There you are. Hi. There you go. Yeah. So before you go, I know predicting how this is going to be near impossible. Mm-hmm. So what are your thoughts on where this goes? Because Hamas has said they are not going to disarm. There's also Islamic State in Gaza. They aren't interested in letting the PA run things. And Marco Rubio spoke of Palestinian technocrats executing whatever orders Trump and Tony Blair give them. So welcome back to the British protectorate, I guess.
Yeah, going back to the Mandate of Palestine that happened after World War I.
Right.
What's going to happen if you have a buy-in for the people who live there, and you can somehow, I'm not sure how, without violence, marginalize the more of the militant factions, maybe you can build something there. I mean, that's really the goal. At the very least, you have to rebuild so there can be a functioning civic society. Right now, there's nothing. It's a devastation like World War I stuff or World War II Dresden. Like, it's really horrific what we're seeing there. So you have to rebuild it for the people, the hospitals, the schools. Kids are not going to school for 2 years. You've got, a whole generation are going to lose. It was worse than our COVID. They didn't have any school. So you're going to have that situation. And going forward, I don't know enough about the parties within Gaza who has control now, who doesn't. There's going to be infighting. But can we prop up in a good way and give stake to the real stakeholders that you want, that are going to have a vision of Gaza where it's about the people there, that the struggle is over, the idea of having armed struggle against Israel, work together to a brighter future. And maybe you have like an EU situation between Gaza, the West Bank, Israel, and then all of the Middle East at some point. You can really have some kind of peace deal. But I think first and foremost, you got to rebuild the society of Gaza so people can have clean water, food, hospitals, schools. It's primitive now. We've gone back to caveman times in Gaza due to the devastation inflicted by Netanyahu and our weaponry that we provide them. It's just horrific what we've seen.
Well, it's an odd mix though too, because yeah, right. Of course. No, you got it through, though. You got it through. That was all right. It'll pop back up. I trust you. I'm going to keep my thumbs up so you know that we heard all of that and it was good and it was there. Takes a moment for it to come back up. But what I would say is that, okay, last night, night before, yep, you're good. You're good. I see you. It's all good, sort of. I might have to, after this is done, before we bring Tara in, I might have to actually, whoops. He popped out. He's going to pop back in. Before Tara comes in, I might have to do a restart or something just to check all my windows. But so what I was saying was last night or the night, I think last night, a family that has ties to or did have ties to the group that ran Hamas before or ran Gaza before Hamas took over, came back home to their area and started establishing that Hamas does not control their city block area where the family lives. So they kind of set up guards and that kind of stuff, and they're going to, try to reassert, their like some sort of political power there that eventually they'll get to, they'll be the negotiating power or something, or just at the very least, they don't want Hamas telling their family what to do. So Hamas rolled in with 6 ambulances full of gunmen last night and killed them. I don't know if the entire family was wiped out, but certainly the people around the building were. And again, bringing fighters in an ambulance is a war crime. And they're still doing it even to their own people right now. So the idea, and that they've said, well, you can have whatever rockets we have left over is the theory, but we'll disarm with that stuff because we can't get to it anyways. And we're out, effectively. They don't have it anymore. But we're not putting down our small arms. which means they're going to have a continued supply of ammunition, which means the Muslim Brotherhood or whoever's supplying them via their Egypt tunnels, if they exist or whatever, is still going to try to do that, which is going to violate a line at some point, which is going to cause open fire like conflict. So the idea that Hamas has got to go for the sake of the Palestinians anyways, because their goal is not a Palestinian state, but the end of the Israeli state, which is not the same thing, because they align more with the ISIS caliphate and that goal than they do of a Palestinian state. They don't even, a lot of them don't even view themselves as Palestinian, right? They, because technically Jesus was the territory or whatever isn't a nationality. There's a lot of people in there, and those folks view themselves as Arabs more aligned with like the Egyptian faction that's aligned with Iran.
I don't know about that. I mean, to me, the labels of they're Palestinian first or Arab nationals first. What's going to be better for the people there? That's the only thing I'm focused on right now.
Right.
And I know that you agree with that. And what's it going to do? And is it going to have to be that if you arm other factions to fight Hamas, then it's going to get really ugly. Don't forget, Hamas was created by the Israeli government to be a counterbalance to the PLO. And that's not conspiratorial, that's the truth. So now is someone else going to see an opportunity? Let's create a counterbalance to Hamas and let the Palestinians kill each other. That serves the ends of certain people on the right. So I think, to me, the biggest concern is, how do you get people in Hamas either to buy in, because people have been terrorists and become world leaders. In fact, Israel's own history tells us that. Menachem Begin, Yitzhak Shamir were terrorists. They blew up British consulate, the British King David Hotel. And people Google, you'll see they were on the wanted list by the British terrorists. They ultimately became leaders of Israel. So there's a way, it's not a pipe dream, that if some will buy into it and you elevate them, but if you're going to have some militant factions, it's going to either be a fight or you're going to have enough international forces, Arab forces there to keep them at bay and say, hey, if you come in, we're going to fight you. It's just ugliness. It's heartbreaking to see what's going on. My family's in the West Bank. Gaza's horrific.
Yeah. Well, and first of all, I want to thank you for being on Dino Badali.
Sure,
it's fantastic. I love being on your show. And next time I will be back in my regular domicile, so we'll have an easier connection. But I appreciate you hanging in there. It's almost, like the Middle Eastern peace process. Like you have to keep coming back. Right? And
this is like internet in 1980s.
That's right.
This is like dial-up AOL. It's always great seeing you. Thanks. It's always great chatting with you, and thank you for coming on my show when you do. I really appreciate it, brother.
Absolutely. And we'll talk about this again, I have no doubt, in the near future, but leave it to you right at the tail end to come up with really what's going on, buy-in, because I think more than anything, we're going to find out that the Hamas leaders who were in Qatar got $1 billion a piece to fuck off. And their abandonment, and the ones who were still in the Palestinian territories and in Gaza specifically, are either dead or were promised bug out through Egypt now, and you'll get the same thing. We don't want to hear from you ever again. Take your family and piss off to Pakistan or piss off to Iran or whatever you're going to do. This is your last chance at it. Otherwise, we just got to kill everybody. And that's really what it seemed like. The thing is, a bribe or a bullet, and that, if you boil it down to it, that's exactly what happened. Steve Witkoff and those guys came over and went, "Hey, you guys want a piece of this rebuild, or you want to, die for this piece of land getting flattened again in 10 years?" And that's what or we're going to drive everybody else out. That seems to be what happened. That they just paid off the billionaire class Hamas leaders that were in Qatar and said, we'll let you go. And in the deal is like amnesty for the leadership, right? If they want to leave now, this is your shot, right? Go. And it seems like they took it. Oh, and he froze right at the end. Son of a dog doodle. Hold on. Oh, they both dropped out. That might be something. That tells me something. Hold on. I'm going to let's see if Dean pops back in for the end, but he did. There's Tara, and we'll see if Dean does. Hold on, probably not. It's okay. Tell Dean if he doesn't want to pop back in. I completely understand, but we were awesome. We'll just do that, and give me a second, and I'll bring in Tara, and see if it's a matter of was it my internet or was it the or New York internet? We don't know. There we go. Hold on 1 second, Tara. I'll get to you in just 1 second. I've had all kinds of fun in. Oh, wait. He was there for a second. Hold on. Did it pop back in? Oh, no. I didn't. Okay. I thought he did for a second. Is he there? No. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to go to here. And then I got to change this. Let me do one more thing. There you go. And oops, I lost her again in the interim. That's fun. Yeah, we're definitely, watch this. I'm definitely going to have to punt the, let's see, whoops, this guy right here. I'm definitely going to have to punt the Wednesday show for our own sanity. Hi, Tara. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Hi. I was just saying I could FaceTime if you would rather.
Yeah, I know.
That's not a pretty Frozen picture I'm looking at all right now.
It's not, well, it's not frozen on my end.
I'm frozen. We're all frozen.
Nope. See, that seems to be the hang up. That's what it is.
Let it go.
That's right.
Let it go. I don't.
Can't sing the baritone version of it. I see you. Okay. So, all right, let me remedy this or whatever. She's just going to be swearing in the background as it goes. All right. Hold on. It's so funny. When she pops back in, I'll tell her that we can hear her complaining in the background. I apologize. This is how it works. Can you hear me now? Can you hear okay? Nope. Her end's frozen too. Hold on. I'll kick her out. I'll tell you what, guys. I'm going to stop the stream for a second. I'm going to do a restart, and then I'm going to start again just in case. I don't know how much of it I can remedy. Yeah, okay. Of course, she pops in just at the last second. So there you are. Hi.
On? Are we here? Is it happening?
Yes.
Or are we alive?
Yes. A lot of times if it freezes on your end, I'm still moving, and if you freeze on my end, I'm still moving on your end. That seems to be the crisscross of what's going on.
I recommend you make an investment and start using Zoom instead of this eCam bullshit because
I beg your pardon. It works all the time.
Well, but it didn't. I mean, I think that Dean Obadella would disagree with you. So,
well, no, I mean, it works when I'm at home. I think it's the internet where I am.
It works when you're at home. Okay, where are you geographically?
I'm at an undisclosed location in the greater Midwest.
Okay, you're in a secret bunker silo because you don't want to be around when the militia comes for us during.
That's right. Yeah. I got special information from my CIA handler. And
okay, so
he told me to.
We're all of us Antifa warriors are gonna get mowed down in the streets apparently because we're domestic terrorists. All 370 million of us. Is that what's happening?
Right. Yeah.
Because Sean Duffy said so. Sean Duffy, aka Road Rash, aka Mr. DL Grinder, who isn't. By the way, anyone in MAGA not on Grinder? Is there any man on the payroll?
It may be the primary pathology of the entire movement is closeted, self-hating gay people.
Yeah, no,
for real.
All of that, and
I mean,
for sure.
That's a rough pathology to carry around.
It's obvious. It's so super obvious what they are, and we're frozen on my end. So I'll just keep
on my end. Yep.
Because I don't know what to do when we freeze. I don't know if I should keep talking. If you're talking, if they can keep talking, I have no idea.
Yeah, and then Tara it pops back in a second.
Gino says, Tara, complain? Never. Mango Penguin says, we're coming for you, Hal. The gay old... Okay, I don't know what to do if we're frozen like this.
We're not.
Andrea, if you could just text me and let me know if I'm being heard and seen, that'd be super. Because I have no idea.
Yes, you're being heard and seen.
It looks like you're moving when I look at my phone and the chat is going and everything is fine. But as I look on my screen being...
I turned our vocals off, whatever.
Am I frozen, chat?
Just to check.
Are we frozen? We're not frozen, says Mike.
No.
Okay, so I'll just keep talking, even though I don't look like we're moving.
Yeah. Then you froze. See what happens is it loops back in that. Everybody, I'm going to shut the show down for a minute, and then I'm going to restart and see if there's any remedy.